Experiencing homelessness, the Bringing Hope to Hope Street facility is just the beginning. Many more similar projects are already in the works.
This is a project that is needed all over Los Angeles. Councilmember Mitch O'Farrell recently presided over the annual State of Hollywood event. His speech detailed a rich present and a brighter future for both visitors and residents of Tinseltown.
One of the things that I enjoy most about the annual State of Hollywood event is that it gives me an opportunity in the new year to reflect on what is working well, what could be working better, and how we can refine our approach to problem solving. Since first being elected in 2013, I've been very clear on what my objectives are for Hollywood. Quality of life, making sure new projects exemplify quality design and architecture, historic preservation, and housing affordability. 20% of housing in Hollywood is under some form of rent control or rent covenant affordable housing. That's a really great statistic that we can all be proud of. Hollywood is a very interesting and thriving community that has an outsized presence in the Los Angeles economy in terms of the economic growth, the investment that's here, and the attention it gets, because we are Hollywood, the only place in the world where other cities try to replicate and celebrate our brand, but we are the brand here.
When Mitch was speaking about the new projects, the percentages of new jobs being brought into the community, I mean, it's not just talk. If you're here in Hollywood, you can see this. It's really happening. In fact, it has happened.
May the magic of Hollywood keep us all under its spell, and may the allure of this community continue to cultivate dreamers and doers. Thank you.
And in downtown Los Angeles, plans are in the works to revitalize another SoCal landmark. Councilmember Jose Huizar was on hand to introduce the redesign of Pershing Square. Take a look.
Today we're here to celebrate the announcement about Phase 1 construction that'll be starting at the end of 2020 here. And what that's going to do is remove the barrier walls into Pershing Square along Olive. And it's also going to plant over 20 trees. And the best part is when you come down Olive now, you're going to see into this park. And then following that, we're going to do Phase 2, which will be along Hill Street. And once again, we'll remove the barriers, the tower, and we'll have this openness.
To be here today, it's really exciting, but not only for me and my staff, but also all of downtown Los Angeles. It's been anticipated for quite a while for us to be here. And really the last year or two, we had a very difficult decision to make, which is we don't have all the money right now, so we really can't implement this whole plan in its entirety and begin construction on it. While it's a 10-year plan to implement the 4 phases, but if we phase it over 10 years, we will be guaranteed that we have the money, and let's get on that path and start construction.
There's a lot of programming that happens here at Pershing Square, so imagine that programming being expanded now and having more programs and more art and more culture and more music and, just more events happening here. So these improvements will allow us to do that.
What's the best way to instill civic values? Get them while they're young. That was the goal for Secretary of State Alex Padilla and LA City Clerk Holly Wolcott. They visited John F. Kennedy High School in Granada Hills to encourage students to get out the vote.
I think what a lot of people don't know is, well, why should I vote or why should I care about the local elections? But the funding decisions that are made every day about, say, street pavement, different issues that impact you locally, those decisions are made by your city council or your school board members. So it's important to do the research and know which candidate locally that you would like to vote for.
It was a warm welcome for Secretary of State Alex Padilla, who recently visited John F. Kennedy High School to encourage young junior and senior high school students to pre-register to vote.
If you're wondering why the politicians don't hear us, well, it's because you're not speaking up, because you're not voting, and that's why we're here. Not just to give you the information about why it's important and how to do it, but to provide you these opportunities.
If you look at the numbers, if we look at voter turnout statistics and registration statistics, they represent the biggest voting bloc in America. But they're the ones that register and vote at the lowest rate. So, we're just driven by the data. This is where we can do more and need to do more to increase registration and turnout rates.
It's very important. You need to bring a lot of attention to it, and the more attention that you bring to it, the better, in my opinion.
He's encouraging all eligible 16 and 17-year-olds to pre-register to vote. Once pre-registered, their voter registration will automatically activate when these teens turn 18. And at this assembly, there was no excuse not to sign up.
In 2016, Secretary Padilla launched a high school civic engagement portal where students can learn more about pre-registration, how to become a student poll worker, and much more.
Over 400,000 young people have already pre-registered throughout the state of California. And after this assembly, it's anticipated that number will go up.
It's inspiring to students that may come from Hispanic backgrounds to see, a Hispanic leader that has done well. And I think that is important to events like this.
The changes to how we vote in 2020 are substantial, and I'll have more on that with LA City Clerk Holly Wolcott later in the program. The LA Public Library offers a reward for scribes. LA Sanitation Department is collecting blanket donations, and Council Member Mike Bonin wants rent control on the November ballot. All this next on City Beat.
The rising price of rent is an ongoing concern for tenants throughout Los Angeles. Councilmember Mike Bonin was among the supporters of a ballot measure that will allow an expansion of rent control.
The initiative to give cities more ability to do rent control has qualified for the November ballot, and to try to start spreading the word to voters around the state that this is something that we need.
50 years ago, the sculpture called Well of the Scribes disappeared from the Los Angeles Central Library. Today, there's a reward up to $10,000 offered to anyone with information leading to the recovery of sections of the lost artifact. The weather in LA has been on the cold side, and in an effort to help the city's unsheltered residents, the LA Sanitation and Environment Department is collecting new and gently used blankets and sleeping bags to help people stay warm. For information, contact the City Facilities Recycling Program at san.cfrp@lacity.org.
Style and performance. That was on display from these movie stars in the Oscar-nominated film Ford v. Ferrari. No, we're not talking about the actors. We're talking about the cars.
Go Like Hell came out in 2009 originally, and for all of these years, and now with the movie, it's a celebration of the greatest sporting rivalry in history, and it brings all the passionate people together to celebrate both sides, Ford and Ferrari. There's a lot more Ford here than Ferrari, but it's just terrific because there's so much passion for these brands, and there's so much passion for that story still after all these years.
You have $1 million cars here. You have movie cars here. You have classic cars here. You don't see these cars on the street. And for cars and car enthusiasts, it gives them a chance and an opportunity to see cars that people in, say, Nebraska wouldn't be able to see. You know, we're fortunate that the Peterson Museum has this event here, and we're local, that we can actually see these cars.
The fascination, I guess, is the history behind it, right? Of where Carroll Shelby started right? A normal person like you and I, like everybody else that made a name for himself, right? And the significance of building something for themselves, right? And so it's the heritage that makes this really important.
Yeah, my father was in the movie Ford versus Ferrari. Portrayed, his name was Ken Miles, portrayed by Christian Bale.
Okay.
And so it's just a story basically of the development of the Cobras and Ford GTs, and the friendship is more about a friendship between my father and Shelby.
The Shelby legacy is incredible. It's amazing. You know, he launched his Cobra, I don't know how, you know, in 1962. All of these years, you go around all over the country, all over the world. People are just so insanely passionate for Shelby cars, for the Shelby logo. After all these years, people just love these Mustangs and they'll love these Cobras.
We go from the speedway to the runway, where the competition in design excellence is fierce. The Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising has launched its annual Art of Motion Picture Costume Design exhibit. Check out these amazing costumes.
We are here at the 28th Annual Art of Motion Picture Costume Design Exhibition, and this is a costume tribute fabulousness right here. We've got over 100 costumes from 30 different films, including the 5 that are nominated for Best Costume Design for the Oscars. We're so excited to have all 5 here. Just to the last minute, last week, we got a tie that was from Mr. Rogers. His widow sent it to us to put on display with our one Mr. Rogers costume. Of course, this museum is great for anybody who likes movies. You know, so if you're a fan of the movies, you're a fan of Hollywood, and you want to come here and you can get a little bit closer to those favorite actors of yours or that movie that you really like. But we're here at a university. FIDM is a college. And of course, instructors can bring their students here. That is the beauty of it. How amazing is that those students can come here and look up close to Academy Award nominated costumes, as well as other costumes, actual costumes. I mean, that's a once in a lifetime experience. They can just come here, sketch, take pictures, take Insta stories, do whatever you want to do, but don't touch them. And the best part, are you waiting? It's free. That's the best part. It's open to the public and it's free, and we love that. So don't miss it.
Were you able to spot your favorite movie costume? I'm rooting for the one with the red feathers. Mayor Eric Garcetti joined LAPD Chief Michael Moore and hundreds of happy Angelenos for a Chinatown tradition, the 121st Golden Dragon Parade.
Here at the annual Chinese New Year parade, and we are having a great time. Gong Hei Fa Choi, and may it be a year of goodness and prosperity and health and peace for all.
It's a great opportunity to really see the community, all of Los Angeles, come out and celebrate the Chinese culture, the history, and the inclusion here in not just Los Angeles, but America. Proud day. It's great to be here.
I see you $1 in your hand. What does that mean?
I'm supposed to give to the lions, supposed to give them good luck for the new year.
And for Los Angeles to be out here celebrating one of the best traditions anywhere in Los Angeles. And it's important after this week especially, and everything that happened with Kobe, for us to be out here and to say we are strong, we are standing tall, and we're going to continue his legacy.
Well, I don't know if I would feed the dragon, but is it still good luck if you just hand the dragon $1? I'll get back to you on that one. Cultural and community pride flooded into the streets of Leimert Park during their monthly art walk. The street fair is how this neighborhood celebrates African American heritage year-round.
The Art Walk benefits community because it gives us a platform to showcase our art. Also, it gives us something like positive, constructive, and something to be proud about.
I think the Art Walk is very inspirational, and it brings not only their community together, but us as well.
It educates them on African culture. It also preserves the history of African Americans' contribution to this community. It also is a place where we can gather, where we can dance, where we can sing, where we can be African American.
We've always been a really diverse community. It's been a stronghold for the African American community for over 30 years. The drum circle happens, and music has always been a good way to bring different communities and different ethnicities together.
I did not have shoes. When I left, I just left. I left everything. So they're giving me back. They're giving me back things I don't have. Make you feel warm inside. I'm a person that loves to give. Even if somebody needs what I have in my bag, I will give it away because they need it more than I need it. I'm still going to survive.
The world is filled with a lot of hate that we don't need. And so just embodying love is the most important thing that we can do right now.
We just believe that where policy and politics fall short, that there are human solutions, and those solutions are rooted in love and friendship. And it sounds utopian, but it's not. It's very simple. At the end of the day, it's about seeing people for who they are and seeing and recognizing every single person's potential, and that everybody has a place in our society, and that nobody should be forgotten or left out.
Our feature this week is all about the 2020 ballot changes that were made in an effort to make voting easier and more accessible for all voters. I had the privilege of sitting down with Los Angeles City Clerk Holly Wolcott to get a first-hand tutorial. It was really informative stuff. Take a look. The March 2020 primary marks the beginning of some big changes in the voting process in Los Angeles. Not only will there be different polling places for many Angelenos, but the ballots will also be marked in a brand new way using the latest technology. Our polling places are about to change the locations where we cast our ballots. So tell us what we're in for.
The previous precinct model is going away. We will now have what is called voting centers. The idea is that you can go to any one of those vote centers. So instead of just the precinct closest to your house, you can go to any voting center that's most convenient to you, whether it's near your home, near your work, near a park. Each location will be open for up to 11 days before the actual primary. Look it up online at lavote.net. They do have a vote center locator that's already live, and you can find the vote center that's most convenient for you to vote at.
Now, how does this new system address the needs of those with disabilities?
The idea was to go into different communities and take care of everybody's needs, to be as inclusive as possible. So the wheelchair accessible, making sure that the size and shape of the ballot marking device would accommodate wheelchairs. For the hearing or the sight impaired, that they can plug in and use just the same system as everybody else to vote. And the same thing with the language. If you want to pick one of the 12 different languages, you just pick that language on the screen. This is the county's new ballot marking device that will be in use for the March primary, and it says, touch the circle to start. Now it asks us to insert our ballot. Now it says that the ballot has been loaded. Now it gives us a chance to vote for one, and it tells us that this is for the city local mayor. So it gives us these 4 choices, or we can hit more, and there are some other choices. So we are going to hit this one and next. Now it's going to allow us to review. Hit next, and it says, yes, I'm ready to print. It gives you the opportunity to go back one more time and check that each one of these races was what you wanted. After you've checked to make sure your choices are correct, then you feed it back into the system.
Okay. I'll let you do that.
And your ballot has been cast.
That simple. Take in a concert at Union Station. Attend a free ladies' book swap. And Mardi Gras at the beach. All this in Things to Do.
Metro Art Los Angeles invites you to the first official Rush Hour concert of the year. Be there for a live performance by The Sinceres in the Union Station's waiting room. The Sinceres play a blend of 1960s soul and R&B cultivated in their hometown of East Los Angeles. Don't miss Metro Art Presents The Sinceres, Thursday, February 13th, beginning at 4 p.m. For details, visit unionstationla.com. Join Asha Grant, director of the Free Black Women's Library, for a free book swap and art workshop. Spend an afternoon of literature and art centered on the exploration of radical feminism and reclamation of the black female body. It's an event for all ages and capabilities. The Free Black Women's Library Book Swap and Art Workshop happens Saturday, February 15th. Register for this free event on Eventbrite. Hello, party peeps. It's time for the 19th annual Venice Beach Mardi Gras Parade. Ready to get your crazy on? Great, because it's Mardi Gras time. So put on something zany and mosey the whole family down to Venice Beach. Enjoy the parade and stay for the party afterwards. The 19th annual Venice Beach Mardi Gras Parade starts at Beach and Rose Avenues. The fun happens Saturday, February 15th, beginning at 12 noon. And that's a look at some things to do.
That's it for this edition. I'm Saida Pagan. From all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.
Want to learn more about the 2020 census? Visit census.lacity.org.
Good morning and welcome. Today is Friday, February 14th. Welcome to your Los Angeles City Council. This council meets every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. I want to thank those listening to council audio and those watching on Channel 35. So with that, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Blumenfeld, Bonin, Buscaino, Cedillo, Harris-Dawson, Huizar, Koretz, Krikorian, Lee, Martinez, O'Farrell, Price, Rodriguez, Rue, Wesson. 10 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you. Sergeants, if we can lower the volume, a lot of chatter on the sides. I know there's a lot of excitement over Banda Mazatlan Sinaloa, who is here. So, shh. Thank you. Fantastic. Okay, first order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
Councilmember Bonin moves. Councilmember Koretz second. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Councilmember Rodriguez moves. Councilmember Lee seconds. Next.
Would you like to run through the agenda, Mr. President?
Please do.
Items 1 through 8 are items for which public hearings have been held.
Any specials, members? Okay, seeing none, those items are approved.
Would you like to take the vote?
Let's do that. Let's open the roll on items 1 through 8, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Those items are approved again.
The ordinances for items 1 and 2 will be held over to Friday, February 21st, unless reconsidered with 12 members present.
Okay, we're waiting on a couple more. I think we'll get there. So let's hold
Additionally,
those.
Mr. President, there has been a request to adopt items 6, 7, and 8 forthwith.
Without objection, that'll be the order.
Item 9 is an item for which public hearing has not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Mr. Bonin.
This item, which is a street vacation in my district, I would like to ask the council to vote no on this item. The property owner in question has not identified themselves. We don't even know who's seeking the vacation. And the neighbors in the area have expressed concern that this is an area of some contested questions of custodial control of this property, and that this property may in fact be designated for use as emergency access. So I'd like the council to deny this request.
Very good, Mr. Bonin. We're going to hold that item on the desks. We have cards, and we'll be reminded once that comes to us.
Mr. President, that takes council back to presentation, items called special or general public comment for items not on council's agenda.
Okay, Mr. Cedillo, you ready for your presentation?
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Mr. President, ready?
Mr. Cedillo, yes, the floor is yours.
So, many of you know my stories. I'm a big fan of music. I have my own Latin Jazz Music Festival. I'm an aficionado of jazz and other forms of music. And so, and you know that I come from Boyle Heights, so I'm a traditionalist in many ways. I'm a Midnighters, Tower of Power, oldies, Earth, Wind, and Fire type of guy. But that is a very narrow world outlook. You also know I spent a lot of time going back and forth to Mexico as an adult, and I noticed this new phenomenon in the 90s in this efforts against 187. I saw the young people coming to our rallies and participating in the meetings, and then they all started talking about banda. Everybody was into banda. I was like, wow, that's something new for me. They have a whole dance style. They've got a whole music and culture. And so I wasn't really familiar with it. I don't have the moves or the rhythm. It's not something I was familiar with. But I was very fortunate. A friend of mine from law school, who's always had an interest as well in music, called me recently and said, hey, man, you've got to get this group up with you. And I was like, okay. I didn't realize, though, that they were the #1 group. I didn't realize that they were going to be the first banda group to open up at Coachella. I didn't realize that they were from Nayarit. They're called Banda MS, and MS stands for Mazatlan, Sinaloa. And they're one of the most famous groups from that state, but they're frankly one of the more popular groups in the world, literally in the world. And so we're very excited tomorrow and tonight. They're going to be blowing it up over at Staples Arena. It's impossible to get a ticket. This genre has taken the world stage, and it is doing so much to bring our communities together as music does and as culture does. They are crossing borders at a time when people are talking about walls. They are, in fact, building the Banda Bridge. And so with that, they were founded in 2003 by Sergio Lizarraga. And we have with them here today Walo Silvas, one of the lead singers of Banda MS, my dear friend from college, Tony Lopez, now referred to as Anthony Lopez, JD Esquire. And that's it. I want to present Banda, and so you can see the interest in them. Walo, who's up?
Let's give them a round of applause and welcome them. Banda Mazatlan, Sinaloa. Bienvenido.
Okay.
Welcome.
Pues antes que nada, buenos días a todos. Estamos muy contentos, emocionados por este día, muy emocionados por todo lo que ha estado pasando en esta carrera y en especial por este momento que nos han regalado, que la ciudad de Los Ángeles nos reconozca de esta manera y nos tome en cuenta como una de las agrupaciones más influyentes en el género mexicano. Y queremos agradecer a todas las personas que hicieron posible esto, que hoy estemos acá. No se imaginan lo que significa para Banda MS esos momentos. No se imaginan lo que significa el aliciente para, no solamente para nosotros como banda, sino para todas las agrupaciones que están luchando día a día por llevar la música mexicana a los oídos de la gente acá en Estados Unidos. Y que tanta gente acá en California, pueblo tan trabajador, nos reconozca el trabajo de nosotros. Es un gran honor para Banda MS. Y queremos enviar un fuerte abrazo para todos, nuestras bendiciones y el agradecimiento. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tony, want to say something? Sergio's going to say something.
We appreciate the city of Los Angeles, and I say thank you, the consul, thank you, Gil Cedillo, for the invitation. I don't speak good English, okay. Me esforcé para decirlo, pero sale del corazón. Un agradecimiento.
Just like to thank the council, City Council of Los Angeles, my good friend Gilbert Cedillo, for this resolution. Thank you very much.
Oh, where's that? Oh, there you are. Vamos, juntos. Cerquita. Aquí, a este lado. ¿A todos? Vamos atrás al otro cuarto para más fotos.
Thank you again and welcome. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you for joining us. Okay, with that, members, now that we have 13 members, let's take items number 1 and 2, both ordinances for reconsideration. Let's open the roll on reconsideration. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, items 1 and 2 now, members, are before us. Let us open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, they are approved. Mr. O'Farrell?
Item 7 forthwith. Please.
Item 7 forthwith.
Thank you.
Without objection. Thank you. Okay. So we'll take general public comment. We can bring forward Susan Minato. And if we can provide a microphone. Amparo Ramirez. Is this Miss Minato?
Yes, yes. Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Susan Minato. I'm co-president of Unite Here Local 11, labor union representing more than 32,000 hotel and food service workers in Southern California and Arizona. And I'm here today with 10 of the more than 30 fasters that are protesting an LSG Sky Chef's employer at the airport. In a time when full-time workers in LA and across the nation are battling homelessness, Local 11 is proud to say that we are unionizing more and more workers to stabilize families and have them be in good union jobs, which keeps them off the rolls of homelessness risk. Our HTA, which is our training academy, goes and trains from marginalized communities, including the formerly incarcerated LGBTQ populations, and place them in union jobs. And then our last hotel contract got housekeepers and service workers to a minimum of $25 an hour with family health care, a pension, and protections on the job from sexual assault. So we're also proud.
Thank you. You can finish your thought. Go ahead quickly.
Thank you. I just want to say that we're also proud of the living wage ordinance at the airport. We have some workers here, however, that are falling through the cracks from that. And so I'd like to introduce first Amparo Ramirez, who is...
Okay, Miss Amparo Ramirez. Next speaker. Good morning.
Thank you. Can I put it right here? Good morning. My name is Amparo Ramirez. I have worked at LSG Sky Chef for 3 years. I'm along with another 9 workers have been fasting for the last 3 days at LAX to bring the attentions for the wages and healthcare crisis we face. We prepare and drinks and food for American and other airlines. Yet we had to regularly choose between providing food for our families or going to the doctor. I work in a cold food prep, and because I work under the extremely cold temperatures, I suffer from bronchitis and regularly had to go to the border to seek medical treatment. I am fasting because I'm like a single mother. I want my daughter and I to have a good health care. American Airlines can do the change. One more thing. We use half of the salary inside the Sky Chef to pay the health insurance.
Thank you. Lorena Mendez.
Hola, mi nombre es Lorena Méndez y he trabajado.
Hi, my name is Lorena Mendez,
He trabajado en Sky Chef por 3 años y medio.
and I've been working at Sky Chef for 3 years and a half.
Hoy estoy aquí para pedirles su apoyo ya que estamos ayunando por una aseguranza médica
Today
y
I'm here
accesible,
to ask you for your support since we're fasting for a medical insurance
de buena calidad y mejores salarios.
of good quality and better wages.
He estado ayunando por los últimos 3 días
I've been fasting for the last 3 days
porque tengo antecedentes de cáncer en mi familia.
because I have cancer background in my family.
Mi hermana murió de cáncer y mi padre también.
My sister and my dad died of cancer as well.
Y ahora mi hermano ha sido diagnosticado con lo mismo.
And now my brother has been diagnosed with the same.
Y yo vivo en un constante miedo y ansiedad pensando que en cualquier momento me puede pasar algo a mí y
And I live constantly with fear, thinking that something may happen to me,
no tendré una aseguranza médica para apoyo,
and I wouldn't have a medical insurance for help
para cómo combatirlo.
and how to fight it.
Como madre soltera,
As a single mother,
no puedo vivir con el salario que gano
I cannot live with the wages that I earn,
y mucho menos pagar esa alta y excesiva aseguranza que nos ofrece la compañía.
and much less to pay that high insurance that the company offers to us.
Por esta razón, he tenido que ir enferma al trabajo,
For this reason, I have to go to work sick,
incluso cuando preparo los vuelos para distintas aerolíneas.
even when I prepare the flights for different airlines.
Le pido a todos ustedes que se unan a nosotros en esta lucha
I ask all of you guys to get together on this fight
y sepan que mis compañeros y yo
and to know that my friends and I,
en todo el país
in the whole country,
no nos rendiremos hasta obtener
we will not give up until we get
una aseguranza justa y buenos salarios.
a fair and good wages and a good insurance.
Thank you. Thank you. Amanda Staples, please come forward. Followed by Claudio Bovel. I see Amanda making her way up. Please make some room for Amanda. Thank you.
Hi, Amanda Staples with the American Heart Association, a Council District 1 resident, and a member of the LA Families Fighting Flavored Tobacco Coalition. We were excited by the motion presented by Councilmember O'Farrell almost a year ago now regarding flavored tobacco. Unfortunately, at this point, we are still seeking a comprehensive flavored tobacco policy that addresses all products and with no exemptions, specifically regarding menthol and hookah. And for us, this is really important. We've spent an entire year and some change working not only in the city of LA, but LA County, Pasadena, Burbank, Culver City, Manhattan Beach, Redondo Beach. There are cities all over the place that are taking bold leadership on this issue with no exemptions. In 2019, there were no exemptions for menthol. So that is something that is key and a component for any kind of policy that the city of LA proposes. So thank you for your time. We do look forward to seeing a comprehensive push forward, and we hope to work with the entire council to make that a reality. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Claudio Bovel, please come forward. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing? I'm here to thank the council members, including the mayor, for the effort in regards to the homeless situation, but I'm also here to speak in regards to the seniors. Right now, council members, you have a new problem. Homeless situation is affecting the seniors. So what I'm asking the council to do, find a way to regulate capital improvement. Capital improvement is hurting the seniors as far as being evicted because they cannot afford $50 more for the next 5 years. So if you can, help these seniors, because capital improvement is a backdoor deal that defeats every effort that you try to do in regards to high rent and the homeless situation. So if you can reach out to me, I can educate you in regards to how the backdoor people are using capital improvement to evict people based on financial, which is money. The seniors been evicted right now. I represent the community, and seniors are hurting because they can't afford the capital improvement that these people are putting on them every month.
Thank you. Jennifer Cortez, followed by Victor Ajemian.
Hello, City Council members. My name is Jennifer. I am a junior at Animo Jackie Robinson and a member of the LA Families Fighting Against Flavored Tobacco. I am also a constituent of Kern Price. First, I would like to thank you for your time. I am in full support of the comprehensive flavored tobacco ordinance. I was a part of the LA County effort to end the solid flavored tobacco in incorporated Los Angeles County. To not see a policy here in the city that I live and go to school in would be disappointing. I ask that you please pass this comprehensive policy to protect the youth. We are the future, and we don't want a future hooked on tobacco. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Victor? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm here today to talk about the waste of money on bridge homeless shelters because the planning for these facilities is flawed on numerous levels. The City Planning Commission is an integral part of these projects, but these developments seem to have just skipped this process in a new planning procedure. Also, there's a threat for any of these developments. There's a threat to mature trees and protected trees. But these trees are not being considered, and they're just being overlooked. There's also been landscape studies done by the city that are less than 10 years old that identify trees and brush that are protected, and this is being overlooked on any of these. Finally, there are better ways and locations to provide better overall services to the homeless in a more cost-effective manner. The recently closed St. Vincent's Hospital and the old downtown police headquarters are just two examples.
Thank you. Noel Weiss, please come forward. Followed by Andrea Karapetian.
Council, Mr. President, I don't think you got a quorum here. You need to have 10 people, but I'm not going to waste my minute basically counting everybody, but I don't think you got 10. What you got to do on this homeless issue is do what we did back in 2007 when we got the relocation fees raised. We had two council persons, Bill Rosendahl, Mike Bonin remembers, and Janice Hahn. 2 days, 12-hour debate. Do we have that today? No. We got a lot of presentations, and we have a lot of stuff behind closed doors, but we don't have a vigorous public debate. You should set aside 1 day, 6 hours, to have people here from state, local, and federal to discuss the homeless issue so that the council members can seriously debate what's going on. Because honestly, we got council members like Mr. Rue, who is not here, basically giving speeches saying, you know what, this issue's too tough. We got to have the mayor being given dictatorial powers in order to take care of business. You know what? No member of this council runs on that kind of an agenda. Let's do it right and take care of business. Thank you very much.
Andrea will be followed by Amadi George Hines.
President Pro Tem, do I have permission to speak on agenda?
This is general public comment.
Okay, I appreciate the opportunity. I'd like to address Councilman Rue. I just want to, first of all, agree that there is a homelessness issue, and I applaud your effort. I do have a concern regarding the information you are receiving from City Council, from Los Feliz Neighborhood Council. I'd like you to meet with us and speak with what I represent as the majority of the voice that are opposed to some of the bridge housing projects that are being developed, like the one in Los Feliz. I think it's very important that you hear from us directly, not from what our neighborhood council meetings compose of people on the homeless committee and for the most part, people from your staff. It's important that you speak with us, you hear from us, you hear what the majority has to say. I think it's important that you hear our voice. It's very important. Thank you.
Thank you. Amadi George Hines, please come forward, followed by Jaime or Jamie Shepard.
Hello, I'm Reverend Amadi Hines. I'm here to offer public comment on behalf of the FEBA Center. It's on Crenshaw, just north of Slauson. I've been informed that the center is in jeopardy of eviction. I'm a member of Karash Unity Center of African Spiritual Science, and we have a close relationship with the FEBA Center. The center operates as a community hub for African Americans in South Central Los Angeles. They host a stream of community programs which help regular citizens to remain aware of issues facing our community. Recently, we had a presentation regarding the housing situation in the inner city. It is imperative that the FIBA Center remain in operation. Please consider ways to avoid closing it down. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jamie Shepard. Good morning.
Good morning. The homeless crisis is a mental health care crisis. I've spent years as a criminal defense attorney and as a prosecutor. Half of all criminal cases come from the homeless community. And of that number, the vast majority have mental health care problems. They don't need to be in the criminal justice system. They need to be in the mental health care system. A job isn't going to help many of these people. Even if you gave them a broom and put them in McDonald's, they couldn't hold it. They couldn't keep the job. Even if you put them in the bridge housing, they wouldn't be able to cook their own food. What we need is to put more money into the mental health care system, and by doing so, you could save up to half in the criminal court system. Now, just consider this. A single court appearance costs about $40,000. How many times do you have to go back to court on a single misdemeanor appearance? It could be over $100,000 to resolve a theft from 7-Eleven. If the county saved that money, you could have it.
Thank you. Okay, the Mike Greenspan, is he here? Mike, you here? Nope. Red Chief. So, Red Chief, you pulled item number 9. I'll give you 1 minute on item 9 while you're here, then also an additional minute on general public comment.
No, I'm just going to do general public comment. The homeless issue, we need to get out there and resolve the homeless issue. And I'm saying we as a whole. And I'm saying that I went out to Echo Park, and it's like 25 people out there that need homes and shelters and things like that. They were at the police commission meeting and complaining and things like that. So we need to tackle it. Where's Mitch O'Farrell at? Mitch O'Farrell, I need to talk to you sidebar and things like that regarding Echo Park. And another thing, you guys should listen to all the comments because they're very important. The homeless issue, it seems like that we have the money, but we're not getting nowhere. And it comes back to consultant fees and things like that. It shows up on the city record as consultant fees, not actually housing the homeless. So I think we need to do a better job. I think it's 2020, and if we can move 100,000 troops overseas to a war, we can't move 62,000 people into homes. Thank you, Red Chief.
Okay, Eric Previn, come on up. I'll give you 1 minute on item 9 and 1 minute general public comment.
Thank you. It's Eric Previn, and I appreciate Bonan's remarks about not knowing who the vacation was coming from, and that causing his district and office to be very concerned. We had a virtually inimitable item at our district with Mr. Krikorian, and I asked Carol Torosino, had no knowledge, but they didn't try to derail it. They just allowed it right on through. And then yesterday, I got an email from Lisa Karadzian, one of Krikorian's apparatchiks, saying, well, we appreciate you looking into it, but that is, it's the vacation of the property, sir, item 9. And it's just it's abhorrent, frankly, because what we're doing is there's two sets of things happening. The ones that the public thinks about and knows about because Krikorian will write a letter to Harvard Westlake and we all go, oh my God. But then there's the things that we don't know about, like the entire stretch from Whitsett to Sportsman's Lodge on Ventura Boulevard being acquired by a huge developer. So they're planning on attacking Studio City with high-rises. And across the street from that's where this vacation happened, where Bonin stands up like a hero in his district, and Krikorian can't even find his seat on a day when item 3 today, which I'll talk about now.
1 minute of general public comment.
General public comment, right. We have a lovely park. It's called Beeman Park in Studio City. It is astonishingly nice. People from the valley come and use it. It's awesome. It's a field, it's a couple fields, and it's a small rec center. But somehow, Prop K, they said, let's modernize the rec center, which everybody knows is reasonable. There's $3 million in. Now they're jacking the rate up to $16.1 million and trying to take a little rec center and turn it into, I wonder where this comes from, a high school regulation basketball court on our field for the city with a bunch of pavement and all sorts of crap that the people of Studio City don't want. And here's the issue. We're going to have, Blumenfield, mark my words, we're going to have a grand jury. January on Prop K, because this is an absolute misappropriation of money, and they're sneaking around with the idiots up at Prop 68 who, if they approve Studio City getting this kind of a project, when Mr. Harris Dawson couldn't get a challenger on the ballot in his district, they are park poor in CD8. But here we have Krikorian and Irene Ibronesian, who moved to a lobbying firm. Maybe you know, John Lee. It's called 360. Nobody seems to know what the hell's going on. Don't do it.
All right, Herman, you're up. Again, 1 and 1, 1 minute on 9, 1 minute of general public comment.
I have these items to submit for the record. I have these items. One regards to Joe Busciano. The other is for, I believe, Nuri Martinez.
You're speaking on
for
9.
the record, and
Speaking
the
on
other
9, please.
city attorney for the record, along with all these other petitions
Last
that
warning.
I'm submitting for the
Speak
record.
on number 9.
So, ladies and gentlemen, in CD11, an engineer's relative initiating
Mr. Herman, address the council. Face this way.
vacate deals with a discrimination, apparently from my perspective, because the recommendation for council's actions.
Mr. Herman, face this way and address the council.
As I am rudely interrupted as I try to control my mother.
All right, give him his 1 minute of general public comment. General public comment.
So because of my so-called sign, Jennifer H. Copps from Long Beach, a judge, ruled that this is not an issue here. You're turning our signs into issues, and that's regulating content. If you continue to regulate our content because you're fucking white niggers too, then I will continue to introduce this content for the record, because fuckheads like you deserve what you get. The same way I went out of my way to bring you donuts, you fat bitches, but I had to eat them because in my disgust about HHH and all the fucking money Kevin DeLeon promised for homelessness, 42 U.S.C. 1983, under the color of law, fuck you, 42 U.S.C. 1983.
Okay, Antonio Ramirez, please come forward. You too will be given 1 minute to speak on 9 and 1 on general public comment. And don't scream in the mic, please. We can all hear you.
Yes. These fucking Jew thieves, all they want is more money. And these fucking Jew thieves are the ones that pin the niggers against the wetbacks and gangbangers, and the wetbacks and gangbangers against the homeless women.
Hold
and
our
all
time.
the
Hold on, Antonio. Speaking on number 9, right? Number 9? Okay, go ahead. Give her a minute on general public comment.
This is a call. A minute to, again, this is a minute.
Keep going, Ms. Ramirez.
Wait a minute. Are we doing? Okay, thank you. This is a call to action. Don't vote for any satanic, elite, demonic, Zionist, Jew, Democrat motherfuckers, i.e. corrupted Mike Bloomberg, Eric Garcetti, City Attorney Michael Feuer, all these Yarmulke Club assholes who belong in prison. Stop the poverty, the opiates and drugs, the high crimes, the gang violence and theft and homelessness and abuse against children by these fucking Jews. This is nothing more than a Holocaust by design. By voting these fucking Democrats out and boycott all Jew-run businesses and criminal evil monopolies, i.e. the charities, the nonprofit organizations, the Israeli Mossad, the Jewish Federation, the Jewish World Congress, the Rabbi Minion assholes, the Chabad, the ACLU, the bisexual, tranny, faggots, and lesbos. Please see sexchangeregret.com. Sexchangeregret.com. That's why we are homeless, because with those of us who will stand up and expose the fucking Jews, we end up on the streets like me, and it is hell living on the fucking streets, assholes.
Okay, Wayne, please come forward. 1 minute on 9 and 1 minute on general public comment.
So today, Mike Bunnan's dream on item 9, we're going to close the street so that all the faggots could suck each other off over there on San Ynez Street. We've been trying for years to get this vacation of this street approved. We've been trying, and finally we found this wonderful developer for only $14,500. We're going to vacate that street at CD 11 to have the very first open faggot fuck avenue
Okay, you're not
ever
on
in
topic.
the
You're
city's
not on topic. It's
history,
your last warning.
and I really appreciate it. We're not going to build a house. We're just going to park cars down there and not let the traffic go through. No street lights, just the beautiful ocean waves and the beautiful moonlight as we go down that street, that finally we can take our lovers and suck each other off in complete privacy.
Okay, 1 minute.
The day
general
of
public comment.
love. The day of love. My two bitches, Monica and Nuri, are absent today, looking for candy. Keep the candy away from the fat cunts. They've already had too much sugar, too many fats. And also today is the big day when the mayor, who admitted he's straighter than the openly gay presidential candidate, Mr. Buttigieg, our mayor has now admitted that he's a fucking faggot. We've been waiting for 16 years for this moment. He tweeted it out, and he admitted that he's a little bit straighter acting than the openly gay presidential candidate. Join us tonight at 9:30 to midnight at the Getty Museum as Strepet Fable, Mitchell Englander, and Joe Buscaino put barbecue sauce and suck it up the mayor's cock. Thank you.
All right, we'll close general public comment. Let's take item number 9. Item number 9, we have one card on 9. Is Miss Barbara Hall here? Barbara Hall, please come forward. Item number 9 is now before us.
Hi, I'm here representing Barbara Hall. She couldn't be here.
Your name, ma'am, for the record?
My name is Wendy
Wendy, last name?
Ibarra.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Again, she is a civil engineer who is applying for the street vacation for her client, and unfortunately she couldn't be here today. If it's possible to continue that street vacation for the following meeting, for her comment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Bonin?
My staff has already communicated to the people involved, and as I indicated earlier, asking for a no vote on the initiation of this vacation.
Thank you. We have one another card that was just pulled. Arnold Sachs, please come forward.
Yes, thank you. Good morning. Arnold Sachs. And I see this as an item, a street vacation, which reminds me of something that was said in the Board of Supervisors. One of the member that's leaving said something to the effect of, don't give up the power. He's going on vacation. Not a street vacation, but a vacation. And I thought to myself, hey, why would you say that? You're an elected official. Be an elected official, act like an elected official, and don't take vacations when people come in here to discuss
So I think we've gone off
issues.
topic, Mr. Sachs.
Okay, last warning, you have to stay on topic.
A street vacation, right? So too often on these street vacations, not enough effort is done to communicate with the neighborhood council and get neighborhood input. You get 1 minute now instead of getting 2.
Thank you.
Just
We have Mr. Blumenfield's on the queue.
Just wanted to clarify, as the chair of the Public Works Committee, this street vacation did not come to the committee. As chair, I am perfectly happy to honor Mr. Bonin's request and to vote no. It is not voting no against a recommendation of the committee. The committee has not heard this. This is just about the initiation, so I support Mr. Bonin's request for a no vote.
Thank you. Mr. Bonin is requesting a no vote on item 9. Let us open the roll. Close the roll. Whoa. Tabulate the vote.
1 aye, 10 noes.
Okay, item 9's 9. Okay, so item 9 fails, members. With that, Madam Clerk, what's before us?
Council has motions for posting and referral.
They are posted and referred.
The desk is clear.
Desk is cleared. Any announcements, members? Okay. We do have a special adjourning motion. If we can all rise for an adjourning motion. All rise for adjourning motion. To recognize Mr. Koretz. Okay, Antonia, do not disrupt this meeting. That's your final warning. Okay, thank you.
If you could give that same warning to Mr. Herman, who's snorting in the background as we begin this adjournment.
Okay, Herman, that's your final warning. Do not disrupt this meeting. You'll be asked to leave if you continue to disrupt this meeting.
And if anyone from the city attorney's office would like to join us here. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Colleagues, it's with a heavy heart that I ask us to adjourn in memory of a member of our city family, Oscar Winslow, as we are joined today by the city attorney's staff and the city attorney himself, Mike Fewer, to mourn with us in loving memory. Oscar was a fierce and dedicated servant for both the City of Los Angeles and for members of the Los Angeles City Attorney's Office. Oscar served as a deputy city attorney for 13 years, starting January 2007. Oscar's boundless energy and innate fearlessness served the office well. During his time with the office, Oscar served in a number of assignments, working in the criminal branch as a branch deputy and a deputy with the gang and gun unit, before transferring to the civil branch, where he worked in various assignments, including housing, municipal, civil, LADWP, general police litigation, and Los Angeles World Airports. Oscar also served as president of the Los Angeles City Attorneys Association for 10 years, starting January 2010. Oscar was involved in all aspects of the union, including managing the union, negotiating contracts with the city, employee representation, lobbying, networking, and managing outside counsel. Like everything else he did, he threw himself into his work. He was a dedicated leader and was driven to work tirelessly to represent and protect LACAA members, and his endeavors were fueled by a belief in a strong union, which caused him to devote countless hours to the work and to the benefit of so many of his colleagues. Before joining the city attorney's office, Oscar worked in different capacities as professor at Westwood College between October 2005 and 2015, and opened his own law practice, the Law Office of Winslow and Associates, between May 2005 to January 2007. Oscar's call to serve began with the Los Angeles Police Department, where he served for 22 years between March 1982 to October 2004, when he retired as a supervisor. In his spare time, he volunteered for the Harriet Buhai Center for Family Law, as well as volunteer income tax assistance with the VITA program. Personally, I also had the chance to work with him in a non-governmental capacity, as we both helped on an effort to elect our current judge and mutual friend Patty Hunter to the Superior Court not too long ago. And I appreciated that opportunity to work closely with him. Colleagues have mentioned how they could rely on Oscar for no-nonsense, objective advice and support. Oscar had a great sense of humor, and he was a kind and special human being who did so much on behalf of others. And now I'd like to ask our City Attorney, Mike Fewer, to say a few words as well.
Mr. Koretz, thank you very much for that very sensitive and marvelous recounting of our friend and colleague Oscar Winslow's life and career. I just want to say a word, Mr. President and members of the council. Our office has about 1,000 members in it. At any one time, we're operating out of maybe 30 different locations throughout the city of Los Angeles. At the end of the day, though, we are a family, and we strive very hard to have close ties with each other. It was very shocking when Oscar extremely suddenly and completely unexpectedly passed away just a few days ago. And his passing has made a big impact on the members of our staff. And his loss will be felt for a very long time throughout our office. I just want to say, speaking very personally on behalf of people who have felt that loss very directly, that Oscar has had an extremely meaningful and valuable impact on the members of our office, but more importantly on the people of the city of Los Angeles, whom all of us serve. And I want to note for the members of the council, the large number of members of our staff who have chosen to be here today just to spend a moment in recognition of the value and the meaning of Oscar Winslow, his life and his career. Colleagues, thank you for joining us today. Mr. President, members of the council, thank you for allowing us a moment to express the depth of sorrow that pervades our office and the support that all of us feel for one another and for Mr. Winslow's family. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Thank you, Mr. Koretz. Mr. Fuhr, thank you for joining us, the members of the City Attorney's Office. I had the pleasure and honor to know Oscar Winslow over the course of my 8 years here. He's a true champion for the office and for the members he represented as a president of the association. You will truly be missed, and this is just a shock to all of us. Thank you for your presence. With that, we are now adjourned. Let us go forth and serve the people of the city of Los Angeles. Thank you.
Front of the school. We did a 2-block project where we did a cool pavement coating, green accented bike lane, we planted 18 shade trees, and we put in shaded bus benches. And we think that that's the direction we need to go. We need to keep pushing the frontier on cool road surface coatings, but tie it into already well-established shade interventions that work. We got a grant from California SB1 to do a neighborhood cooling planning project, and we picked the area around the Sherman Way stop of the Orange Line busway in the San Fernando Valley, and we worked with Councilmember Blumenfield on this, and we've hired a consultant to do this deep community process. And look at all those different interventions we offer them over there. We offer them misting systems and green alleys and